Dear Patriots, before the news starts, please subscribe to our patriotic channel by clicking the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion below in the comments section. Share the news on Facebook and Twitter so you friends see it. Thank you.
White House Trump tells Trudeau he wants fair NAFTA deal. President Donald Trump spoke with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on Monday night about trade in the North American Free Trade Agreement negotiations in Mexico City, the White House said Tuesday. Trump said he supports an agreement that is fair to all three countries, but the current deal leaves the U.S. with a trade deficit, according to a statement from the White House. The White House appeared to have a somewhat different takeaway from the call than the Canadians did. A Canadian readout dated Monday said both the US and Canada welcomed the progress that has been made with NAFTA. The Canadians also said Trudeau highlighted his concern over Trump's proposed aluminum and steel tariffs. The White House didn't mention the tariff spat. Trump has proposed tariffs of 25% on steel imports and 10% on aluminum, angering many US allies and frustrating even some members of his own political party. The head of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development said Tuesday that Trump and other world leaders should use a global forum to tackle steel excess capacity rather than imposing tariffs. As shown repeatedly in the past, we need global solutions to global problems, and that is exactly why the Global Forum on Steel Excess Capacity exists, OECD Secretary General Angel Gurria said in a statement. Most of the group's members see China as the main source of excess production capacity, but Beijing says other countries share the blame. The conversation with Trudeau came shortly after the U.S. president attacked Canada and Mexico, two of the country's top international trading partners. We have large trade deficits with Mexico and Canada. NAFTA, which is under renegotiation right now, has been a bad deal for USA. Massive relocation of companies and jobs. Tariffs on steel and aluminum will only come off if new and fair NAFTA agreement is signed, Trump tweeted Monday in a pair of posts. Also, Canada must treat our farmers much better. Highly restrictive. Mexico must do much more on stopping drugs from pouring into the U.S. They have not done what needs to be done. Millions of people addicted and dying. Trudeau said early last month that he would walk away if the U.S. proposed a bad deal. The NAFTA negotiations have a deadline of March 31, before the Mexican presidential election in July and the U.S. midterm elections in November, but the talks could continue past that date. Doug Palmer contributed to this report. Trump denounces reports of White House chaos, hints at more West Wing upheaval. President Donald Trump on Tuesday denounced as wrong reporting in recent days from multiple media outlets that his administration has descended into chaos, declaring that the West Wing is filled with only great energy but conceding that I still have some people that I want to change. The new fake news narrative is that there is chaos in the White House. Wrong. People will always come and go, and I want strong dialogue before making a final decision, the president wrote on Twitter. I still have some people that I want to change, always seeking perfection. There is no chaos, only great energy. The Trump administration has been roiled in recent weeks by staff departures, internal turmoil and a battle over international economic policy that has exposed divisions not only between the president and other Republicans but also within his administration. Multiple news outlets, from the New York Times and Washington Post to CNN and USA Today, have written stories about troubles inside the White House. Perhaps most notable among the recent Trump administration upheavals has been the announced departure of White House Communications Director Hope Hicks, among the president's longest-serving and closest aides. Another staff departure, that of former Staff Secretary Rob Porter, was prompted by accusations of domestic abuse against Porter by two of his ex-wives. Those allegations begat a wider controversy about why Porter had been allowed to work inside the White House for months under an interim security clearance and why top administration officials were not aware of the allegations against him earlier. Revelations about Porter's security clearance status eventually prompted the White House to downgrade the clearances of all officials working under an interim clearance, including Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner, from the top secret SCI level to the secret level. The Porter episode also cast a light on Chief of Staff John Kelly, who was placed in the White House to bring stability but whose management has been questioned. Last week, Trump also railed against Attorney General Jeff Sessions. In an early morning tweet, Trump criticized Sessions for directing the Justice Department Inspector General to investigate the FBI's surveillance of former campaign advisor Carter Page. Sessions later responded that he would continue to do his job with integrity and honor. The president even joked about the chaos at Saturday's annual Gridiron Club dinner, joking, "So many people have been leaving the White House. It's invigorating, since you want turnover. I like chaos. It really is good. Who's going to be the next to leave?" Trump's announced decision last week that he will impose tariffs on aluminum and steel imports into the U.S. has also proven controversial, both within his administration, where multiple officials have opposed such a move, and on Capitol Hill, where top Republicans, including House Speaker Paul Ryan, have advocated against imposing fresh tariff protections. Trump mocks lowest rated Oscars. "We don't have stars anymore, except your president." A record low 26.5 million people watched the 90th Academy Awards on Sunday, and President Donald Trump says he knows why: there aren't any more movie stars. "Lowest rated Oscars in history," the president tweeted Tuesday morning. "Problem is, we don't have stars anymore, except your president, just kidding, of course." Hosted by late-night TV host, Jimmy Kimmel, the show dropped in viewership roughly 20% from 33 million, according to a Nielsen report. Various media reports say the length of the show contributed to the decline, while others highlighted the smaller films winning the biggest awards. "Thanks, lowest rated president in history," the host fired back on his Twitter. This year's Oscars, which has always been somewhat political, didn't go without Kimmel and others taunting the president. Kimmel made a few jokes ranging from Hope Hicks' resignation to the president's tweeting habits. "Where there is light, there is always hope. Except at the White House. Hope quit on Wednesday," Kimmel said, according to The Hollywood Reporter. Rapper Common also criticized the president and the National Rifle Association during his performance Sunday night. "These days we dance between love and hate, a president that trolls with hate. He don't control our fate because God is great. When they go low we stay in our heights. I stand for peace, love and women's rights," he said. Hensarling warns Trump that tariffs could undo tax cut benefits. House Financial Services Committee Chairman Jeb Hensarling warned President Donald Trump on Tuesday against pressing forward with a board package of tariffs on foreign aluminum and steel, cautioning that such a move could undo the economic benefits of the tax cut package he signed late last year. "The president has got to be very, very careful here. And if he follows through with it, and it appears that he is, I've encouraged him to be very, very surgical," Hensarling, Republican Texas, told CNN on Tuesday morning. "I disagree with the president. I don't know of any trade war that ends well. That's not my reading of history." Trump announced last week his intention to impose a 25% tariff on steel imports and 10% on aluminum, a step he has said is intended to protect American workers. But the move has been met with opposition from many in the Republican Party, which has historically been a supporter of free trade. The president's announcement has also received a chilly reception from some of America's largest trading partners, including Canada and the European Union, the latter of which has threatened to impose retaliatory tariffs against imports from the U.S. Hensarling, who announced last October that he would not seek re-election in this year's midterms, heaped praise upon the president for the package of tax cuts and reforms that he and fellow congressional Republicans shepherded into law late last year. Hensarling predicted consumers would bear the brunt of any tariffs and that Trump's announced moves would cancel out the economic benefits of the tax legislation and regulatory rollback he has championed. My fear is the president's going to walk back a lot of the progress that he's made, and I don't see winners in trade wars, Hensarling said. We've got, 300 million people who consume steel and aluminum. I mean, is this going to send up the price of a six-pack at a grocery store? Well, it very well may. But we all consume this, and I'm afraid this is going to hurt consumers. I think it's going to lead to a net loss of jobs,